And he says, Deborah, go get the New York Times. And she's like, why do I need to go get the New York Times? Just go get it. She gets up and she drives to the local newsstand and, looks for the New York Times. And she picks it up. And there on the front page of the Sunday Times is a photo of my father with his arm around a young woman who looks exactly like me and my sister, except it's not us. And the headline is something like, Anonymous sperm donor ends his anonymity and invites his many donor children to California. At that time, it was a growing cluster, I think between 12 and 15. Now we're in the 40s.
I know he's become known as Donor 150. That was his kind of donor name. Was that name linked to kind of who he was? Did he have a reputation? Did this donor have a reputation?
So my father's name was Donor 150. I think maybe he was the 150th man who had donated to the California Crime Ring, which would end up being one of the two largest in the world. They flip all over, not just California, but every state in the U.S. and globally. My father donated up to 3 times a week for almost 10 years. We estimate somewhere around 500 donations. Each donation is split into multiple sellable files. So the actual amount of children is unknown. It's in the hundreds. What I've later come to understand is that my father is an incredibly popular sperm donor. I think one of the reasons for that is just that they had such quantity. There was the simple fact that even though they didn't show photos of my father, the nurses had gotten to know him so well, and he was strikingly attractive. And so the parents, while they did look at the documentation, they also asked the nurses, who would you choose? And the nurses loved my father. They would recommend him. And this isn't just hearsay. That, quite a few of my biological siblings, their parents were the head of the science. Who would you choose? And he said, without a doubt, Donor 150.
You could have decided that this isn't for you and you put your relationship with your brother and that's enough. What did you do?
So my mother, when she read that Time headline, she had a nervous breakdown. She didn't listen to her mind. She was doing a lot of work to repair the relationship with me and my sister. And she had a lot of guilt and shame about this sort of the different way that she had raised us. So she had no intention of everything, which in retrospect is quite comical because this was a gigantic news story at the time. Like, it wasn't, 60 Minutes in 2020 were calling my father to see if he was, crack on his shoulder. There were local news stations following him around. There was a documentary crew from Canada that wanted to go film the story of all kids coming to meet Jeffrey. And then, through a wild circumstances, she discovered that it was very likely that I was dating my half-brother.
You were dating your half-brother?
That's right. So that's when my mother sat us down on the couch to tell us, and of course that ended the relationship. For the next 10 years or so, I would become sort of an investigator into my own life, because